Welcome to the wonderful world of worms. This is my worm farm that I use for Life Cycles unit and animals unit, animals, homes, habitats. As you can see, it's a Rubbermaid tub with some holes drilled in it. Now inside, I have put a whole bunch of paper scraps and also worm bedding from an exciting company that apparently is teaching bears how to fish with poles and nets. When you put water in the worm bedding, it looks kind of like dryer lint that got wet, which it very well could be, but it's mostly paper byproducts. When the worms get through eating this worm bedding and the vegetables that I put in, the soil, they are actually creating soil, and it ends up looking like that, very rich and dark. The little white specks are eggshells that I ground up because eggshells actually help the worms create their little cocoons. Now, speaking of worm cocoons, I found some worm cocoons when I was going through the bin today, and I have them up at the top. They always lay their cocoons in usually in the wet newspaper that's in here, or in a piece of food, like in an orange rind or in a strawberry top. So if you can get in there, I will show you the cocoons. I have several of them. They look like little yellow lemons. And I'm trying to get it out there. Is that one? You'll see another one on the newspaper, and I see another one right here. They look like little yellow lemons, and 1, 2, or 3 worms will hatch out of these worm cocoons eventually. I am uncertain of how long it takes. I just know that I have a lot of worms in here. Even though you can't see them, they do hate the light. So this guy right now, hating this. The worms that are in this tub are red wigglers, and as you can see, mostly they are red. They used to be bigger, but these are descendants of the first red wigglers that I put in here years ago, and they have grown to the size of their habitat, so they're really not that big. You might think, oh, she's lying. She doesn't have worms in here. Oh, but I do have string. I think that used to be a tea bag. Worms like to go where the food is, and I always keep the food at the bottom of the bin. So there's some lettuce that I put in last week, which they prefer to eat fruit, so they are going to really like it when I, oh golly, they're really going to like it when I toss these strawberries in. I can try to find a baby worm for you. I think I see one, actually. He does not like the sunlight at all. Do you see this little guy coming out of the dirt? He probably hatched a few days ago, and he was just down there looking for food, and he doesn't care if it is strawberries or lettuce. He just wants some food. So there's a little baby that is probably just a few days old. I'll check on the other side. I don't think there's a lot of food on the other side. At any rate, I will toss these strawberries. Oh golly, look at them all down there at the bottom. More worms just hanging out where it's not sunny. And that's kind of how I'll find them. I'll find them all together because they like to keep wet. They breathe through their skin when it's wet. So they want to keep moist, and all worms are boys and girls at the same time, so they are hermaphrodites. And I have just made a bunch of worms very happy by putting these strawberries in, and I'll toss that tea bag back, and the lettuce probably won't get eaten, but in a few days, these strawberries will be turned into vermicompost, which is a very, very, very rich and good fertilizer for pretty much any kind of plant. I use it with my house plants. I can also mix a little bit of this worm bedding, which is paper, in with the soil. You should never keep the food on the top because it will mold. If you keep the worm food down low, it won't mold. This I have the students smell it all the time just because it's food that's been in there for a long time, but it does not smell rotten. It is nature taking place. So this guy is going to go down and find the strawberries. Thanks for joining me for some information on habitats and vermicomposting.